First of all, congratulations on Motion Detected,
Thank you.
creepy horror film.
Yeah.
I'll start with Natasha, ladies first. What attracted you to the script?
Um, Justin. So let me elaborate. I worked with Justin on a short film uh, a year before we shot Motion Detected, and I just had so much fun, and I'm just like these guys, Sam Rosame, who's not here, he and Justin, they have really great ideas. And I was just very happy with the work that I saw in the short film that we did together. And I'm like, well, I want to work with these guys again. Hopefully something comes through. And it did, which was Motion Detected. So I was very pleasantly surprised when Justin reached out and asked me if I was interested in Motion Detected.
Natasha, talk to me a little bit about Ava.
Well, what would you like to know?
Well, the psychology of her and what is your process of getting into a character?
So for me, it really comes down to becoming the character, as in you have to think like the character. You have to a certain degree, live like the character. Like I said, to a certain degree, um, and it's just you really have to dive deep into the psychological aspects of who this human is, because this is a human that is apart from you. So how do you integrate that into this organic mix between you and a character? So for me, it was really just my process of creating Eva was after I read the script, I just thought, okay, how can how can I become this character? How can I become Eva? How can I bring her to life? And I think it was really just learning her and living like her, as in doing things that Eva would do.
Mm-hmm.
Lifting up objects, touching objects the way that I think my character would do that, thinking the way my character would think after being through such a traumatic experience, which she lived through. And you know, I have not lived through something traumatic like that, but I definitely think that my own experiences, from things that have affected me deeply, was just a natural integration into that character, into Eva. Mm. And once I became her and I was on set, I took her home with me. So I was still living like her, sleeping like her, and getting up, and I'm her. It's just a rinse and repeat process until I'm done. So I was definitely in character, and I could not break character even a month after I was done filming. So it was a process to become her, and then it was a process to unbecome her.
Wow.
So
do you choose a character because they're a lot like you, or because they're nothing like you?
I think that's a really good question. I love a challenge. So for me, I definitely love picking characters that are nothing like me and who have had completely different backgrounds, stories, experiences. And I mean, that's also how I learn about the world, by becoming different people who have lived through different experiences, because you have to do your research. So there's a lot of thinking and preparing that goes into a character like Eva.
Does music play a role in your development of characters and all?
Yes, absolutely. So for me, music has always been a big part of my life. I'm not a musician, but I sing. So for me, definitely, the process of creating characters, she has to have the right soundtrack. And all of the characters that I embody have their own sounds, and that also helps me develop movement for those characters. Eva, we're talking about Eva specifically. Yes, she definitely had her own soundtrack that I would have on repeat, and also when I really just needed to get into character, again, because maybe, just we had our lunch break. So, we're coming back, and I'm just like, I have to dive back in. Like I have to have the exact same emotions that I had 30 minutes ago, an hour ago. And how do I get back there? Music. So I just pop in my AirPods and just listen to the music and just become her, or again. I never stopped being her, but I think it was just the momentum. I didn't want it to. I had to keep my energy up. I had to keep, I have to keep myself in character. So music definitely plays a huge part for me as an actor with characters.
I know that you're an artist and you do painting, and all of that. Will you use that if you decide to direct? I mean, I would think, an artist would naturally fall in love with photography.
Well, I actually am doing photography now, and I already directed my first short, and that's something that I want to continue down that path. I think that, if you're in this industry, you have to wear multiple hats, and also screenwriting for me is a huge passion. So I've always said I express myself much better when it comes to pen and paper than I do when I'm actually just communicating the way I am speaking. It's verbal. Um, but for me, it's just reiterating, I like wearing multiple hats, and definitely painting has been very therapeutic. Also, it's helped me discover so much, about my characters' worlds, everything that's happening inside of them. So generally, until recently, this is what I would do with my characters. I would just bring out a canvas and I'd just start painting, and I would have my music on and just feel, what is my character going through? Who is she? Like, it's just the discovery process. And I think that every actor has their own discovery process. But for me, painting, music, now photography has definitely been an integral part of the process.
What do you think audiences are going to take away from watching motion detected?
I think that it's definitely subject to interpretation. I think that everybody is going to process motion detected differently, but I think ultimately it's um, it's a story as old as time when it comes to um, people dismissing women's concerns,
Mhm.
and also just, the takeover of AI in our everyday lives, which is happening. It's here, and like, how do we move forward? How are we gonna deal with this? This is like our new normal now, and also it's just, you know I think that people are also going to feel, the genuine concern for that, because the future is uncertain. And and I definitely think that, audiences will leave, after they're done watching our film. It I think they will have a general feeling of unease.
Really?
And I mean, the point of art is to make you feel something, and if you feel something, well, then
There
it's a
you go.
success. Exactly.
Yeah. By the way, I know you went to Chula Vista High School. Um, I lived in San Diego for a long, long time, and know that area pretty well. National City down there and all. And
Oh, well, I was in the SCPA program, so
really,
School for Creative and Performing Arts. So I did theater there,
yeah, I
and
did theater at the Globe back, in what is it, Cortez Park. Uh, they,
Cortez Park.
they had the Globe Theater there. They
Oh, of course.
yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Awesome.
Yeah, well, I went to USIU and had did Shakespeare for several years down there, and I was kicked out because I'm no good. That's just